What's up, everybody? Hope you're having a good afternoon. Hope everything's good. Stay warm wherever you're at. Stay out of the wind. We had some mighty powerful winds here yesterday and night before. It knocked out our power. We was out of power about 12 hours, I guess, something like that. And it got kind of cold, but Anna thought fast and turned on the gas stove and kept us kind of toasty warm, which is good. Anyway, guys, y'all be safe. I know one of our friends in Wisconsin, the last resort, is going through some hard times up there with the temperatures and stuff. So, got any well wishes or good thoughts, send them his way, or even go to his channel and give him a thumbs up or a like or something like that, man. Give him something, make him feel good, you know. It helps, goes a long way. Anyway, the other day I put out a video, talked about the representation of population in the United States. I was showing how different skin colors or races or racial identities is represented by percentage points. And this also works, guys. The reason I was making this out is because I was talking about the popular vote or the majority wins, except for a few exceptions. But for the most part, it's supposed to be, in essence, everybody's represented in our whole system and everything by their by the amount of people they represent and everything, a percentage thereof. This is even shown in the White House and a lot of the other government offices that according to the population density, how the population made up by different races or nationalities and stuff like that, the White House staff is accordingly staffed in this manner, which each race represented by a certain amount of people and everything like that. So I was trying to make a point that, aside from that, pretty much there is a one-sided or a side way leaning away from the populace or the majority rules idea into a more specific ideologies of people thinking that they have a larger say-so in things like that. And that's kind of the thing I was talking about and everything. And unfortunately, some people took it the wrong way or really just really misunderstood. It is not a racial thing or anything like that. It's just a thing that we should really be considering and thinking about as we go forward in our new era and everything like that. And, I'm not trying to blame thought and everything like that. Once upon a time, guys, we brought slaves over here. There's no doubt about it and everything like that. There's no doubt. But I do argue about the point where they came from. I do believe they came from the Caribbean because it makes sense for them to travel from Cuba, Haiti, Puerto Rico, and places like this. A lot easier come up through there and come into the Gulf of America, Gulf of Mexico, or come up to South Carolina or even Virginia up the coast instead of traveling across the wide open ocean without any kind of safeties. These are wood ships without navigation pieces except a sextant and a telescope or a telescope to look out through, and that's pretty much it, and a compass. And so that was their navigation, guys. So it was a lot easier just to cruise up the coast of east coast of the United States and drop off the cargo there. The pirates and everybody did. So yes, these slaves supposedly came from the Caribbean, but Caribbean people, the Haitis, the Cubans, and things like this, and other ones, can trace their heritage way back on to Africa. Now, once upon a time, guys, Africa was a kick-ass nation. In fact, they was a world power threatening and already on the level of what the fabled Atlantis was and other great nationalities, nations. They're not talked about much because they've been marked out of the history books because of what they represented. Did you know that the Queen of England at one time went and dropped to her knees at the throne of the King and Queen of Africa? Yes, indeed, guys. This did happen at one time. African continent, was to the King and Queen. So at one time, Africa, the Kingdom of Africa, not just the continent, but the Kingdom of Africa, was a kick-ass country. Well, of course, that goes on and on and everything. And the reason I'm talking about this, guys, brain, they're all kind of full around. It works in my head this way. Is that, we talked about the Garden of Eden was in Africa. And I kind of debate that. I think there were several places that could be considered the Garden of Eden. It happened approximately, according to most records, guys, it was around 8,400 to 8,040 years BC, which is approximately 10,000 years ago. In the beginning was the words mentioned that was associated with this time frame. And it's kind of crazy and everything like that, guys, because that's about 10,000 years. And here's the funny part is, guys, y'all heard of it, maybe y'all have or have not, the Younger Dryas period, which happened approximately 12,500 years ago. So in the beginning came after the Younger Dryas period. Oh yeah, one other thing, if you got them, smoke them. One of those tasty treats, and make sure I keep handy. Anyway, Younger Dryas happened about 12,500 years ago, maybe a little bit longer, thereabouts, guys, roundabout. And then it started to end around, not 12,500, but 12,500 years BC. And then it started to end around 9,700 BC, right before the time period of the words in the beginning. And there's a multitude of peoples around the world that says they were the first people that came out of the ground after the cataclysm. So that's an idea. And the reason I'm bringing this up, guys, of course, this is a periodic event. It happens around every 12,000 or so years, give or take. Just like the Nemesis and Nibiru is around every 3,600 years average, back and forth and everything like that. So we do have a number of cycles that we do repeat. The 4,000 average, say 3,600 year, 4,000 year cycle of Nemesis, the 12,000 year cataclysmic cycle of the Younger Dryas type thing, and an impact or some kind of cataclysm goes on Earth. But there's another one, and I do believe there's one beyond that one, but there's another one that happens also. It is around 120,000 year cycle, where it is a life-ending event, much like all the other two, the Younger Dryas and this one. I don't know what it's called. I haven't contacted the person that was told me about this and everything, but it is a 120,000 year cycle. So every so often, guys, it is a LEE, a life-ending event, an extinction level event. Much like what they told us, Fukushima and the volcanoes and everything, that these are life-ending events, guys. These are actual life-ending events where all life on planet Earth is wiped out. Now, we have a 3,600 year cycle. I'm going to say average, thereabouts, maybe give it about 4,000. We have a 12,000 year cycle. And then we have a 120,000 year cycle. That's cool, guys, right? As long as it don't affect us. But the problem is, they're about all three coming together at the same time, right about now. That is why the cataclysmic things are going on that we're seeing around the planet and everything, part of it, and the weather changes, stuff like that. Not counting with the manipulation that's going on, guys, and everything like that. But yes, we are reaching a period of time when three great cataclysmic events are getting ready to happen in our lifetime, in our framework, in our planet Earth. And each of these three could be considered a life-ending event. But all three of them together, y'all remember the movie with George Clooney and he's out in the water, The Perfect Storm? Well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and fluffy dogs and kitties, we are about ready to face the perfect storm of life-ending events. And pretty much everybody on Earth, everything on Earth will die. I hope y'all have a groovy day. Later, taters.